Presentation literacy, the skill you can build. You're nervous, right? Stepping out onto public stage and having hundreds of pairs of eyes turned your way is terrifying. You dread having to stand up in a company meeting and present your project. What if you get nervous and stumble over your words? What if you completely forget what you're going to say? Maybe you will be humiliated. Maybe your career will crater. Maybe the idea you believe in will stay buried forever. These are thoughts that can keep you up at night. But guess what? Almost everyone has experienced the fear of public speaking. Indeed, surveys that ask people to list their top fears often report public speaking as the most widely selected, ahead of snakes, heights, and even death. How can this be? There's a tarantula hidden behind the microphone. You have zero risk of plunging off the stage to your death. The audience will not attack you with pitchforks. Then why the anxiety? It's because there's a lot of stake. There's a lot at stake. Not just experience in the moment, but in our longer-term reputation. How others think of us matters hugely. We are profoundly social animals. We crave each other's affection, respect, and support. Our future happiness depends on these realities to a shocking degree. And we sense that what happens on the public stage is going to materially affect these social currencies for better or worse. But with the right mindset, you can use your fear as an incredible asset. It can be the driver that will persuade you to prepare for a talk properly. That's what happened when Monica Lewinsky came to TED. For her, the stakes couldn't have been higher. 17 years earlier, she had been through the most humiliating public exposure imaginable, and an experience so intense it almost broke her. Now she was attempting a return to a more visible public life to reclaim her narrative. But she was not an experienced public speaker, and she knew that he would be disastrous if she messed up. She told me, "Nervous is too mild a word to describe how I felt. More like coated with trepidation, bolts of fear, electric anxiety. If we could have harnessed the power of my nerves that morning, I think the energy crisis would have been solved. Not only was just stepping out onto stage in front of an esteemed and brilliant crowd, but it was also videotaped, with the high likelihood of being made public on a widely viewed platform. I was visited by the echoes of the lingering trauma from years of having been publicly ridiculed, plagued by a deep insecurity I didn't belong on the TED stage. That was the inner experience against which I battled. And yet Monica found a way to turn that fear around. She used some surprising techniques. which I shared in chapter 15, suffice it to say they worked. Her talk won a standing ovation at the event, rocketed to 1 million views within a few days, and earned rave reviews online. I ever prompt a public apology to her from a longtime critic, feminist author Erica Jong, the brilliant woman I'm married to, Jacqueline Novogratz, was also haunted by fear of public speaking in school, at college, and into her 20s. The prospect of a microphone and watching your eyes was so scary, it was debilitating. But she knew that to advance her work of fighting property, she would have to persuade others. And so she just began forcing herself to do it. Today she gives scores of speeches every year, often earning standing ovations. Indeed, everywhere you look, there are stories of people who were terrified of public speaking but found a way to become really good at it. From Eleanor Roosevelt to Warren Buffett to Princess Diana, who was known to all as shy and hated giving speeches, but found a way to speak informally in her own voice, and the world fell in love with her. If you can get a talk right, the upside can be amazing. Take the talk that entrepreneur Elon Musk gave to SpaceX employees on August 2nd, 2008. Musk was not known as a great public speaker, but the day his words marked an important turning point for his company. SpaceX has already suffered 2 failed launches. This was the day of the 3rd launch, and then everyone knew failure could force this company's closure. The Falcon rocket soared off the launch pad, but right after the first stage fell away, disaster struck. The spacecraft exploded. The video feed went dead. Some 350 employees had gathered, and as described by Dolly Singh, the company's head of the talent acquisition. The mood was thick with despair. Musk emerged to speak to them. He told them they'd always known it would be hard, but that despite what had happened, they had already accomplished something that few nations, let alone companies, had achieved. They had successfully completed the first stage of a launch and taken the spacecraft to outer space. They simply had to pick themselves up and get back to work. Here's how Singh described the talk's climax.